next day after a holiday can feel very depressing, especially if you were using the holidays to distract you from the things that you're feeling or going through. If you've been following my channel, you know that a few months ago I got out of a 6.5-year relationship, and the journey back to a state of healing has not been easy. It's easy to feel that you want to ignore certain feelings, but it's also very helpful to just sit in them. Sometimes to sit in those uncomfortable feelings, whether those feelings be of a bad relationship, whether they are wanting to get out of a 9-to-5 job, whatever it may be, anything that you might have a feeling that something is just not right for you, sometimes you just need to sit in those feelings to be able to analyze better about what's going on. You know, I am a person who does not believe in taking a lot of medication. I want to feel the things that I'm feeling. I don't want to mask the pain. I want to feel where the pain's coming from and figure out holistically what I can do for it. Because if I take a lot of painkillers right away, I don't feel that that's being helpful for me to get to the root cause of it. Because that's more of a Western medicine theology. And I tend to practice a more Eastern theology about medicine. And I want to know where things stem from. So what I've been doing is a lot of writing about what I'm going through. And I also come here to talk to you guys on YouTube, which is also part of my therapy for myself, as I've mentioned in the past. If you've listened to my videos, you know what I mean. There was a book that I came across a long time ago. I guess it was almost 20 years ago. And I read this book and I practiced the methods in it. And when I need it, I still practice it to this day. The book is entitled The Artist's Way. It's a self-help book, and it's a 12-month program that helps you to regain your creativity and help you overcome a lot of blocks that you may have, such as limiting beliefs, fear, self-sabotage, addictions, and helps you to build up your self-confidence again. So many of us struggle with some type of addiction. Whether or not you realize it, a lot of things can be an addiction. It could be an addiction to drugs or alcohol. Those are the obvious ones. But you can have an addiction to carbs or something you deem as innocent like sugar. Sugar is an addiction. The point of it is, if you want to eliminate this from yourself, from your mind, and the feeling of wanting it, then the process of the Artist's Way is very helpful. Between that methodology and prayer, really, that's all I need. Sometimes I feel stuck. Absolutely I do. After my breakup, I moved into my parents' home, which is where I am right now. And just my father is here because my mother recently passed away. One of my nieces lives here. So if you saw my video from yesterday, I filmed that in her room because she was out of town. And really, there's no space anywhere really that is quiet and that I can use that's just for me or just for filming. I mean, there's a lot of people downstairs right now. You probably hear them in the background. There's always a lot of people visiting, and I really don't have too much privacy. I mean, this room right here where I stay, there's no door to this room. Now, how private is that? I have to continuously force myself to keep pushing forward. Otherwise, it's a continuous mental block. So every day I have to wake up praying and thinking about my plan for the day, because it is a continuous push for me. It's not easy. So when I tell you I understand what you're going through, yes, I really do. I understand the bills that are piling up. My medical bills right now are out of control, but I'm slowly but surely, just one at a time, knocking them off, because I have a plan. I have a plan to leave in a certain time frame, and I plan to follow through with that. I came across a video this morning from Alex Hormozy, and he talked about why he doesn't go home for the holidays. And when I tell you that that message resonated with me so much, because it made me think about the many times that I've discussed with certain people that certain language or words are triggering to me, and those things can help me to feel stuck. And these kinds of things happen in families, among family members. but the family members still decide to say the certain things, even though you've spoken to them before about saying those things, and they still continue to say them, either because they think it's funny or they just have no interest in changing. To me, it's very disrespectful and unloving, especially when it's coming from family members. Because when you're going to tell someone, well, that's just the way it is, or I'm going to tell it like it is, who's really benefiting from that? Only the person who's speaking. And I never want to be that way toward anyone. I don't even do that to my children. When they tell me that they don't like something I said, I immediately apologize and make the change. It's showing compassion, empathy, and love for another human, especially your children, who you want to be a good role model for. And that's a part of the basics of life. A part of it anyway. So Alex Hormozy was talking about people in families saying certain things to you, causing certain triggers. He didn't use the word triggers, but that's what I'm using. And they would say things a certain way, as they have said since you were growing up. It's like when I was trying to figure out my purpose in life. That's what it reminded me of. And everyone had their own input. And the one who spoke the loudest said, oh yes, I remember that when you were little you said this, that you wanted to be this in this profession, and you even wrote a letter about it. And I remember that letter, but I didn't remember exactly the details about it or the profession that it spoke about. They said that, oh, you have all of these characteristics which point to that as being your purpose. And so this was in a realm when I was trying to figure out my purpose. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do in my life. Well, for a number of years, I took that to heart and pursued that profession. And then finally realizing, you know what, this is just not for me. And I actually wasted so much time, energy, and money in school pursuing it. Later, I came across that letter. And that letter had nothing at all to do with that profession. I mean, so I say all that to say, only God knows you. And you know inside of yourself the things that bring you light, laughter, and joy in your soul. Pursue those things, because those things will give you the most peace and the most joy. Pursue them like you are on fire, so that you will never have a regret in life, so you won't be in the grave with your ideas and dreams. So again, this is another type of holiday message for those who have a feeling of depression after the holidays have passed. It's okay to sit in those emotions for a short period of time, but don't dwell there. You have to force yourself to think about other things. And that's why I say, write those things down so that you can get all of those thoughts out of your head. Allow yourself that free thinking on paper. There's something about the pen and paper process that is just amazing. It's that mind-body connection. Allow yourself that time to get it out. And then, after you've sat in it for a couple of days, redirect that energy into the positive. Then start free writing your dreams and aspirations. Write down your goals, not necessarily in a list format, but in a paragraph form of how you feel about acquiring those things. Then start writing down a timeline of when you want to accomplish these things and what it looks like and what it feels like when you reach your goals. And sit in that space for a couple of days too. Then when you come back to all of it, write down everything as if it's already been accomplished. How do you feel about all of the goals you've reached in detail? What they look like? What you're experiencing as you feel them, be them, see them. Write all of that down. My wish for all of you, keep moving forward. Don't stop learning. Don't stop dreaming. And most of all, don't stay stuck. Talk with you soon.